It's going to be critical. And that was a game we scored 90 with Angus being in foul trouble and no Eric, and and a lot of the bit players just doing their part. You can't live on that for the whole season, but to be able to accomplish what we did with Angus having foul trouble, and pretty much Roberto, Devon, and Charlie made up for the rest of the offensive production. That was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And what I thought our supporting cast did, they contributed when they could, and they didn't hurt us when they couldn't.
Well, Coach, I know you're time crunch. I'm going to do, for the football pregame show on the network, I'm going to do a 3-minute segment with you right now, and then he's going to continue.
Okay,
Here we go. Welcome back to the Beaver Tailgate Show. It's Washington, it's Oregon State, coming up in a couple of hours, but what we'd like to do is talk about some of the other sports going on campus, including men's basketball. Craig Robinson, head coach, last weekend, back in Maryland against the Terrapins. Talk about that win, how important it was, and just the whole atmosphere. I heard the atmosphere is pretty special.
Yes, Ron, the atmosphere was terrific, and playing a team like Maryland, who had previously gone 30 games without losing to a non-conference opponent, playing in front of roughly 15,000 people, and a few of those being my family members from the White House, made this win really special, and probably our best non-conference win since I've been here. And it's important on a lot of fronts. Number one, just to get a win on a game that you weren't being considered having a chance to win. That's first and foremost. Number two, it's great for our program, our fans, our players, and the school itself. And then thirdly, from a recruiting standpoint, we do a lot of recruiting around the country, and to be able to win that game on national TV with a lot of people watching because the First Family was there, and to play that well of a game and execute our game plan the way we wanted to, that was it made for a real good all-around victory for the program.
Was the president able to talk to the team? Did he talk to the team before the game?
He did. He talked to the team Saturday when we toured the White House, and it was pretty funny. He put the pressure on him. He said, I've got enough things to worry about. I've had a rough week, and now I don't want to have to worry about my brother-in-law, so you guys have to take care of him in the game tomorrow. Not exact words, but that was pretty much what he said. And, the guys laughed, and somebody hollered out, "Oh, we got him covered, Coach." And then so we finished the tour and finished the visit and went from there. And lo and behold, the next day we won.
Is it tough for you to coach in front of the president or in front of your mom and sister?
Much harder coaching in front of my mom because she doesn't like watching me coach. And if the game is like this game where it's back and forth, you had 12 ties and however many lead changes, and it's getting hard for her. And she says she keeps claiming she's not going to come to any more games. She's getting too old for this. So it's much harder coaching in front of her. The president and my sister, they're sort of basketball fans, and they like to go to the games, and it's really it's a nice breath of fresh air for my brother-in-law.
Last thing, how important was that win considering the way the season started?
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, we obviously lost a game that we should have won, and this easily makes up for it. It's if you sort of held a lie detector on me, I would have said I would love to have been 2-1 at this point, thinking you win the Coppin State game and you play well, but you lose on the road to Maryland. Now that you're 2-1 anyway, and having beat Maryland, this feels better than if it was the other way around.
Coach, good luck on the 26th against Southern Illinois.
Thanks, Ron.
Stick around, everybody. We'll continue. Steve Freese, OSU Hall of Famer, will rejoin
Craig.
Yep.
Devon, what a performance from him. Roberto said before the game that people are going to see an evolved Devon. Was that what you were expecting, or did that exceed the expectations?
Well, first of all, Devon always plays well when we go to the East Coast. I mean, it's almost like clockwork, and I didn't want to count on that just because we were going to the East Coast. But once again, he delivered. And what you saw is a stronger, more confident Devon. And I think he's more relaxed in the post now that Angus is back, because we can't quite get double teamed as much with both Angus and Roberto in there. The other thing you're seeing is he's starting to knock down his foul shots, so he feels even more confident about going in there strong, because if he gets fouled, he's looking at that as like, I'm going to definitely make one, if not both of these foul shots.
Roberto, Pac-12 Player of the Week, and able to do that on a national stage. Lamar always calls him the best scorer nobody's ever heard of. How pleased were you for him to be able to do that on that stage?
Really pleased, and you know, it's not even just the on that stage thing. It's just, you know, Roberto has been with me for, this is his 5th year, and everybody knows how special of a recruit he was for me, both on the court, but especially off the court. And for him to have a game like this where he followed the game plan as well as I've ever seen anybody follow a game plan. I mean, he really willed us to that win, and I couldn't be happier for him. I think that it's going to make his life tougher, you know, because people are starting to figure out who he is. People are going to game plan for him, and it's going to make life harder for him, but he's up to the task.
I'm sure you've had to answer this before. Haven't lost playing in front of your brother-in-law. Is that just coincidence, or is there some presidential magic there?
You know, right now I can't argue with the presidential magic. I mean, I told him, you got to come to Corvallis to some of these games. I mean, we play really well when we play in front of you. But what I think it is, Stephen, is that I think the president inspires. And he inspires our players. I mean, it's just, I've seen it, and you know, I see it in their eyes when we're touring the White House. I see it in their eyes when he's talking to them one-on-one. You know, it is inspirational when you can say, I met the president and he knows who I am. So I think there's something to the sort of presidential magic.
Did you joke with him about getting your first one to fly into Corvallis?
No, it was not. It was not a joke. It was. I was completely serious. Like, please come out and watch us play at Corvallis. But you know, he's been a little busy lately, so I'm not gonna hold his feet to the fire.
Last one for me. You talked about this being probably the best non-conference win you've had since you've been here. Now, moving forward, do you have to look at it as just another win, or do you say this is the biggest non-conference win? Do you tell the guys, now let's take this into Pac-12 play? How do you kind of use this?
We use this the latter way. I mean, this is a perfect example of what our one of our mottos has been this season. That's raising the bar. So we use this kind of effort to raise the bar on the next game and to raise the bar on yet the following games, and put the pressure on ourselves. And so we have to make sure that with this time off that we don't rest on what just happened and move forward and upward.